Today we're going to be putting two cookie recipes to the test. This one from Joshua Weissman and this one from Cupcake Jemma. Both trying to recreate the Levain Bakery in New York. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm trying to start a little mini-series called Food Fight, where I'm putting two different recipes from different YouTubers to the test to see which one's best. And today we're doing Joshua Weissman, Cupcake Jemma, their cookie recipe. So let's start with Cupcake Jemma.
So first, into a bowl, on the paddle attachment, goes 250 grams of cold butter. And then we mix that for 30 seconds, just to start breaking it up a little bit. And then we have 160 grams of caster sugar and 160 grams of light brown sugar. And that both goes in, and then we're going to mix it around together for another 30 seconds. Oh, put that bit back in. Then we're going to go in with 400 grams of milk chocolate and 100 grams of chopped walnuts. Just giving it a quick mix, bringing the ingredients together, making sure everything's all incorporated. And then we have 200 grams of self-raising flour. Self-raising flour is literally just flour, but with baking powder already in, and 300 grams of plain flour as well. So to that, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a quarter teaspoon sodium bicarbonate, and a quarter teaspoon of table salt. And then we're going to pour everything in together and give it a little mix around, just so everything gets nice and incorporated. And then we're going to go in with 2 large eggs, already beaten, so we don't mix the mix too much in the mixer. That makes sense. Until you get something that looks like this. And she says the ideal weight for these are 125 grams. So we're just going to weigh these out separately, making nice balls, gently pressing together. And then we're going to stick these in the freezer for 90 minutes. So while they're in the freezer, we're going to get on with Joshua's recipe, and we're going to start with 280 grams of butter and put it straight into a pan and bring it to a nice melt. And then in a separate bowl, we're going to add 275 grams of all-purpose flour, along with 230 grams of cake flour. Then we're going to put in half a teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, 1.5 tablespoons of kosher salt, then give that a nice little mix around. And then in a stand mixer, we're going to add in 285 grams of brown sugar and 115 grams of granulated sugar. And we're going to set the mixer on a slow mix, just while we slightly drizzle in our melted butter so it fully incorporates into the sugar. Mix it until it starts to become nice and smooth, and then we're going to add 1 egg at a time, but 2 whole eggs in total. Just make sure the first egg is incorporated before you add the next one. And then we're going to add in 3 separate egg yolks as well. And then once it's all nice and smooth, we're going to switch to the paddle attachment. And this is where we bring back the flour and we slowly start to incorporate it all together. He did say that I have to spill some on the side as well. I think it adds to the flavour.
Don't forget to spill a bunch of flour all over the place when you're pouring it into your mixer.
So once it's nice and smooth, we're going to throw in 165 grams of rough chopped walnuts and 450 grams of dark chocolate, roughly chopped. Some big pieces, some small pieces, it's all going to add towards the texture. And we're just going to give that a final mix just to make sure everything is beautifully incorporated. And would you just look at that? And we're going to chill these down for 45 minutes in the fridge. So we just need to cover it with cling film, keep it nice and fresh, also give it a little spin apparently. So we now have Cupcake Jemma's recipe out of the freezer, and they are very frozen. They're going to go straight onto a baking tray that's been in the oven at 200 degrees, and we're going to cook them for 17 minutes, making sure to space them out because they will spread. So while they're in the oven, we're going to weigh out Joshua Weissman's recipe. And this is pretty cold. It's been in the fridge for 45 minutes now. I don't have an ice cream scoop as big as the one that he used in his video, but I do have some scales. So we're going to weigh these out for 6 ounce, that's 150 grams. And then once we have the cookies, we're going to go back in the fridge just to let them firm up a little bit longer. And would you just look at these little beauties? They smell incredible. Now on to Joshua Weissman's. The oven is set at 220 degrees, that's just a little bit hotter than the last one. And we're going to go straight onto a cold tray, then into the oven for 13 to 16 minutes. Okay, so these have been in the oven just a little bit longer than I thought, but they're looking pretty good and pretty close to Joshua Weissman's cookies, to be honest. So we're just going to leave them to cool down for a little bit now. Okay, so we've got both of our cookies. They've slightly cooled down, but both still nice and warm, straight from the oven. Now for a little test, just to break them open to see what's on the inside, see how they're looking. And Cupcake Jemma's is pretty nice and spongy and cakey. Joshua Weissman's is nice and gooey, and you see that chocolate running through the middle. Looking at them side by side, they do look completely different. But let's try them both, starting with Cupcake Jemma's. Oh, nice and crumbly, crunchy, cakey. Really good, yeah. Joshua's a bit more gooey, fudgy, nice and crispy on the bottom still. Look at that, this was really good. I don't know. Wow, both really good. I'm going to need a second opinion. I'm just kidding. Don't feed chocolate to dogs. I'm going to be completely honest, both of these cookies were absolutely incredible.
Now for some final thoughts. Basically, if you're going to eat these straight out of the oven, you're going to want to go with Joshua Weissman's. It's really gooey, all the chocolate starts like stringing together, and it's really beautiful straight from the oven. But if you're going to eat these when they're both cooled down, honestly the best flavour is Cupcake Jemma. Overall winner? I really don't know. I think I'm going to go with a tie. That was a bit of a disappointing ending, yeah? But if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, do all that stuff. I'll see you in the next one. And remember to just keep cooking.